The first sin of the week is foolishness. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. He said to himself, "What should I do? I don't have room for all my crops." Then he said, "I know. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods. And I'll sit back and say to myself, 'My friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy, eat, drink, and be merry.' But God said to him, 'You fool, you will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for?'" Foolishness is one of the 13 different vices that originate from the man's heart and defile the person, according to Jesus, in Mark chapter 7 verses 20 to 23. So who is a fool? The Bible describes fool as someone who trusts himself and the world more than God. Fool is someone who has no fear of God. They might believe that God exists, but they live as if He really doesn't. The fool says in his heart, "There is no God." Psalms 14:1. This is why they do not fear God. For why would anyone fear something whose presence they do not acknowledge? But since they reject God and the fear of God, they hate instruction and wisdom. For wisdom and instruction come from the fear of God. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1:7. Left to themselves, they trust their own minds. But whoever trusts in his own mind is a fool. But he who walks in wisdom will be delivered. Proverbs 28:26. So, dear listener, are you a fool? Let me ask you this. Do you make it your aim and practice to fear God and walk in His instruction? Is that your aim and practice? If not, you are a fool. How long will you throw back behind you God's instruction and words? How long will you hate knowledge? You say you are very smart, but don't you know that the wisdom of this world is foolishness to God? That even the thoughts of the brightest mind in the world are just as mere breath and vanity to God. Foolishness comes from man's rebellious heart that deems the knowledge of God to be foolish, and the knowledge of everything else to be wisdom. The final destination of fools will not be a fool's paradise, but a fool's hell. Turn! Do you not realize that the one whom you ignore has your breath and heartbeat in his fingers? He can snuff you out at any moment, at a snap of his fingers. Will you not fear him? Will you not humble yourself before him? Will you not acknowledge God? I wish that some tragedy will come upon you to make you humble and seek after God. Learn from God and His Son, Jesus Christ. Being a fool is a sin. Come to Jesus Christ, and He will make you wise unto salvation. Turn to the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make you wise for salvation through faith in Christ Jesus.